Okay, so this is problem 670, maximum swap, medium difficulty. For given an integer num, swap 2 digits at most once to get the maximum value number. Return the maximum value number you can get. So you get 2736, and you're going to swap the 7 and the 2 to get 7236. If you got 9973, no swap because it's already as large as it can be. Okay, so let's work through some examples here. So in this case, 2736, we see the 7 is the max. So we just swap the 7 and the 2. 9 and 9 are the max numbers, and they're already at the front. But what if we have something like 0973? Then in this case, we know we should swap 0 and the 9. We could add some other numbers. So we know we should swap this 0 with this 9 because the 0 is the first number after this 9. That where if you put the 9 there, the whole number, that would make this number as the maximum it can be. Even if this wasn't a 0, even if this was like 8, right? Because the 8, there's a number bigger than it, which is the 9. So that's how you can move the 9 to the front. And then let's say you got 9, 7, 0, 5, 4, 8, and 3. So in this case, the max is already in the front, but this can still be larger if we swap this 8 in front of 7. So basically, we iterate through this array, and then, so 9 is already the max, 7, so check if another 9 exists, but so check if 9 with index greater than I. So let's call this I. So index greater than I. Otherwise, else check if 8 with index greater than I. So we do have it. So then we swap. So we swap them. So basically, what we need to do is we need to iterate through this, like convert it to a string, so that way we can iterate through this, and then keep track of the indices of each digit that occurs in this string, and then we're gonna iterate through. So let me write it down. So 1, convert to num2 string, then iterate to get indices of all digits in num, then iterate each digit, check if starting from 9 then downwards, if digit larger than we'll call the string s, so s of I, int of s of I, larger than int of s of I exists, and if its index is greater than I, implies swap. Okay, so it looks like we got the algorithm. And then what if we have multiple 9s? So let's say we got a 9 here and a 9 like here. So we know this would be the max number if a 9 was out here instead of the 7. But where do we place the 7? We place the 7 here or here. Well, it would be larger if the 9 was out here and then the 7 was here, as opposed to if the 7 was here and a 9 was out here. So what we need to do is find if the index is greater than I, then swap. If multiple swap candidates exist, choose the one with largest index. So in this case, we will swap this 9 with this 7 instead of this 9. Okay. So we can code this out. S would be string of num for I in range length of S. So we need a default dictionary of a list. And the reason is because here, like 9 is going to have index 0, 2, and 5. So we want it to be a list of indices of int of s of I dot append I. Okay, get all the indices, then iterate each digit. So for I in range length of S. So check if 9 starting downwards. So for X in range 9, so it has to be larger than int of S of I. So we'll call this int of S of I. And we want it to go downwards. So because it stops before int of S of I, we know X has to be greater than int of X of I. So if X in dictionary and dict of X, the last index, choose one of the largest index, greater than I, then we swap them. So now how do we swap them? So we got a string S. We can't just assign. We can't assign an index in a string to a given value. So what we could do is construct a new string, and then convert it to an int and return it, and then we'll get our answer. So we return int of the whole thing. It will be S until, so I is going to be, so we could say like this is int I less than this. So we know it's going to stop at I. Then we'll get this index here. Or we could just call this like J or something to make this easier to understand. J equals. Okay, so now and move this to another if statement down here. Okay, now we return. So this would just be J, then plus S of I plus 1 until the J, then the S of I, then plus the J plus 1 afterwards. And then we also need to return something in case there is no swap. So in that case, you just return the original num. So let's make sure there's no typos. Okay. If I less than X of I less than J here. So X, all right, okay, int of S of I, and then J must be bigger than 9. Yeah, so it looks like this should work. Let's make sure this is right until I. I is the current index. J, I plus 1 to J, I, and g plus 1 afterwards. Yeah, looks good. And it passes all test cases. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching this video.